I cannot believe this. Donte Divincenzo has spoken out on the New York Knicks and has essentially alluded to the fact that he wishes he was still there. And is there a chance that Leon Rose might try to bring Donte Divincenzo back? I think the Knicks will look into it if they could figure it out, and we're going to break it all down because Divincenzo clearly seems like he still wants to be a Knick based off comments. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as we usually do. And if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. 26% of viewers right now watching are subscribed. Let's get those numbers up. It helps me out a ton, but let's jump into it, guys, because look, when Donte Divincenzo left the Knicks, we were all sad. It was all a thing that happened. We were like, damn, he's gone. It just sucked. The Nova Knicks ended before they even began. Divincenzo, just this guy who was so ride or die for the team, who went out there, put up 15.5 points per game while shooting 40% from three and giving good defense and getting a ton of rebounds and important situations and putting up 40 points in a game 7, hitting a clutch shot against the 76ers. The list goes on of all the things Donte Divincenzo did for the Knicks in the 1 year that he was with the team, but it was evidently clear that what Divincenzo was doing was just so vital to the Knicks. Now, they traded him away for Karl Anthony Towns, and the trade has worked out great. Karl Anthony Towns is an MVP candidate this season, and Divincenzo and Julius Randle on the Timberwolves is not working out as well as the New York Knicks are working it all out. But Divincenzo spoke on the Knicks ahead of the game the two teams are about to play, and taking a look at his comments, it seems like he clearly wishes he was still on the Knicks. He said, "I stay in contact with all those guys all the time. They're still family. I watch games. It's a different viewpoint. I'm more of a fan of those guys over there on the Knicks. I wish them nothing but success." And when asked about the struggles that they've had with consistency, he said that great things take time. I wish them, obviously, speaking of the Nova Knicks, he wishes them well, obviously, but every single person over there, I wish non-stop individual success and collective success. Donte Divincenzo has made it very clear that he loves the New York Knicks, that he loved his time with the New York Knicks, that he didn't want to get traded off the Knicks, hence the whole Rick Brunson, yo, Tibbs, I can't finish thing. It all comes off Divincenzo was upset the Knicks traded him because he wanted to stay on the team. I mean, he had some of his best friends there. He was beloved in MSG. He became this guy who was a vital part of the team, who even though he was going to get moved to a sixth-man role with the Knicks, I mean, he was still going to play this massive, massive role on the team. And everyone was excited to see what year 2 of Divincenzo would look like when he gets to play with his entire Nova Knicks team. I mean, I still even have this Nova Knicks shirt because I was so excited for the Nova Knicks to happen. Here it is. I still got it. Never got to wear it to a Knicks game. The Nova Knicks never ended up fully happening. They've happened in smaller increments, whether it's been Brunson, Divincenzo, and Hart, or Brunson, Hart, and Mikal, and obviously last year Ryan Arcidiacono was also on the Knicks for a bit. But it's just become this situation now where you look at Donte Divincenzo, and it just sucks that he's no longer with the Knicks because how well he fit in with the team. Now, Divincenzo is a very special player, and he has struggled on Minnesota for sure. I mean, as Tommy Beer puts here, among all players who have logged 500-plus minutes this season, Donte Divincenzo is the only player in the league shooting below 36% from the floor and below 32% from three. DiVincenzo has just struggled to find his offense this season. However, his defense has been very good. I mean, the best defensive field goal percentage in the fourth quarter among rotation players in this season, with a minimum of 40 total defended field goal attempts. DiVincenzo's third, and the only guys above him are Russell Westbrook, who's a great defender, and Jonathan Isaac, who is one of the best defenders in basketball. I mean, Donte DiVincenzo's defense has always been underrated, but it was severely underrated with the Knicks. He had a lot of good moments guarding Tyrese Maxey in the playoffs last year, and he is someone who just is such a key player on both sides of the basketball. It's just his shooting's not working out right now. But Tom Thibodeau himself spoke on Donte and said, Donte's a good player. He was terrific with us. So it's part of the game and you just play. At the end of the day, it's what you do in totality. So Tom Thibodeau has his former players back, as Tom Thibodeau usually does. Tibbs is usually raved about by the players that he played for. Very few people go on to dislike Tom Thibodeau. And if you do, it's probably a test of your own mentality more than anything. Because you see the way that Brunson loves Tom Thibodeau. You see the way that Josh Hart loves Tibbs. I mean, when Tibbs went on the Roommates podcast, and it's not like Tibbs is some guy going on podcasts, but he went on the Roommates podcast because Brunson's the captain of the team, and Josh Hart and Tibbs became close because the way that Josh Hart plays on the floor, Tom Thibodeau just loves, as any NBA coach would love the way that Josh Hart plays. But you can see they have so much fun out there. I mean, they asked Tibbs who would play him in a movie, and he's just talking to his guys, joking about how George Clooney or Brad Pitt should play him in a movie or something like that. And Josh Hart's like, no, you're ugly. Like, Josh Hart loves to mess with Tibbs. You can see that they clearly have a very good bond, and it shows a lot about who Tom Thibodeau is. And you know that Donte Divincenzo loved playing for him. I mean, Brunson, Hart, Divincenzo, playing for Jay Wright, Mikal Bridges, playing for Jay Wright, you're taught that you have to be tough. Weak-mindedness is not going to get you anywhere, and Josh Hart was one of the leaders for the Knicks about doing that. When Mikal first came to the team, Josh Hart openly admitted to essentially bullying Mikal Bridges till like a breaking point where Mikal just stormed off, and Josh Hart felt kind of bad and texted, yo, you good? And Mikal said no, so Josh Hart felt bad and went to go apologize to him and kind of explain what was happening, as Hart is a few years older than both Mikal and Brunson, so he was there earlier. He was a junior when these guys were freshmen, so it became that whole situation where these guys where Josh Hart was more of a veteran to these guys of college basketball, and now you see it here where he's just this outspoken guy on the New York Knicks, loving his job, loving his life, and making sure that everyone's prepared to win. It's why Tom Thibodeau loves him, and Donte Divincenzo was the same way. So is Jalen Brunson. As I said, it's the Jay Wright coaching tree. Now, Divincenzo clearly by his comments wants to still be on the Knicks, saying he's a fan of the team, rooting for them, wishing them all individual success. And as Brett Stigall mentioned a month ago, Donte Divincenzo is being viewed as a possible trade candidate for several contending teams around the league. While the Timberwolves value Divincenzo's skill set, the 27-year-old combo guard was not thrilled with the idea of coming off the bench after being traded, where he still is coming off the bench. Now, it came out that Divincenzo did not want to be benched at all. Essentially, with the Knicks, there was the rumor that Donte did not want to be benched. Yet, here we are. Donte refuted those claims and said no. Ian Begley refuted those claims and said Divincenzo was really excited for this season with the Nova Knicks. I think more than anything, Donte Divincenzo, he's not angry that the Knicks traded him. He definitely is a bit, and he should be angry because he's like, I just put up a great season and you move me to Minnesota, given he has family nearby there, so it's not like he's like from New York and got traded to Minnie or something, or from the East Coast and got traded to Minnesota. But Divincenzo was clearly hurt by it, and he's allowed to be, and he should be. But he also clearly, more than anything, the reason it seemed like he was upset that he got traded was because he loved being on the Knicks, and he loved his time with the Knicks. So I think Donte Divincenzo clearly wants to still be on the Knicks, and if you asked him if he could pick any team to play for, he would certainly choose the New York Knicks, which is an exact phrase that I said about Mikal Bridges a year ago when we were talking about all the Mikal Bridges stuff. I do think Leon Rose is going to do his best to try to find a way to bring Donte Divincenzo back to the Knicks if it becomes a feasible possibility. Now, the essential way to do that is you have to work out two trades, which is essentially one three-team trade. The Knicks cannot trade for Donte Divincenzo, but if another team trades for Donte Divincenzo and then instantly flips him to the Knicks for someone whose salary matches Mitch, then you can pretty much figure that out and make it all work. The problem is if you trade Mitchell Robinson for Donte Divincenzo, you have essentially no big men. Then you're really banking on Precious Achiuwa to hold it down as the center. And despite what the person in the comments keeps saying to me, Precious Achiuwa is better as a power forward than a center. I wish he wouldn't, be rude about it and tell me I'm a terrible journalist and that I don't watch Knicks games when I've been respectful to him. But whatever, it's not my job to care about what other people really say or do about me. I'm the one on screen. But look, the way that Donte Divincenzo's been playing, he clearly he needs a change of scenery, dude. He needs to move to a team where he's not the only shooter because it's hurting him a lot. I mean, this season he's averaging 8 points per game. He's averaging 3 rebounds and 3.5 assists, just like what he did on the New York Knicks. He's getting over a steal per game, and his defense has been very good. His field goal percentage is 35%, while his three-point percentage is 32%. I mean, he's not shooting the ball well at all. He's shooting 23.5% on corner threes. And when over 75% of his shots are threes, that's obviously very, very scary. His offense has just not been there at all this season. I think one of the reasons for his offense not being there at all is the fact that he is the only real shooter on this team. Yes, Anthony Edwards is a phenomenal three-point shooter now, but outside of that, Mike Conley, yeah, he's a good shooter. For sure he is. He's a 40% three-point shooter. But Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, and Donte Divincenzo are not on the court that much together. So you're looking at this situation where Divincenzo is being completely glued because there's not the spacing the Knicks had, where Devo had more opportunities to score with ease. And he's now relegated to he has to be on the perimeter because everyone else scores on the inside. Edwards prefers to score inside the arc. Julius Randle scores inside the arc. Rudy Gobert exists. Naz Reid scores inside the arc. Jaden McDaniels. I know he's got a brother named Jalen, but they're different players. Jaden McDaniels, not a great shooter. DiVincenzo's in a weird situation right now. He really is. It's just what's happening here. But look, when the Timberwolves acquired him, they expected something great. So it's going to be tough for them to move him. Now, I don't think the Knicks are going to be able to trade for DiVincenzo at least this season because I don't think the Timberwolves are going to trade DiVincenzo this season. I think they're going to keep rolling with him and hoping that he gets it going. And if he doesn't in the offseason, he is going to be a massive trade candidate. And in the offseason, the Knicks can trade for Donte Divincenzo again. So maybe they'll work it out. Who knows? I really hope they can figure out a way to bring Donte Divincenzo to the team. Look, I'm just saying, and I love Mitchell Robinson, and I'm not trying to advocate for a Mitchell Robinson trade because I'm a big Mitchell Robinson supporter. I'm just saying, if you trade Precious Achiuwa for Nick Richards, and then trade Mitchell Robinson in a 3-team deal that gets you back Donte Divincenzo, is that better than what the Knicks currently have? Instead of using Landry Shamet in the DiVincenzo role, you get to use Donte Divincenzo in the DiVincenzo role? It makes some sense to me. Let me know what you guys think down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, guys, and go Knicks. Let's beat the Timberwolves tonight.